Okay, the next thing what we need is a simple header in the background where we can add in a heading image and a subscribe button. Let's get to our code, and you can see this is our navigation bar, and right after this I'm going to add a comment. I'm going to call this as banner. Okay, let's duplicate that. Inside that I'm going to call this as header dot main header. Okay, and we'll say div dot container, and I'll say div dot row. So div dot call lg8 dot call md8. Okay, so this is where I want to add my header text. So I'm going to call this as div dot header text holder. So here we'll say h1 tag. I'm going to call this as lorem. Like I said, this is going to be just dummy content, and I think I'm going to get rid of all these options here. I just need a small heading, not a big one. And let's save this. Let's add in a paragraph tag. Say lorem. Let's save this. Let's see how that looks. Let's hit refresh. You can see that this kind of looks like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this class here, and in the CSS I'm going to add as text align to center. Now I know that we can use the class here called text center, that will work, but basically what I want is in the mobile view I want this thing to be in left align. So if I add the class called text center, I will not be able to align this in the mobile view. So basically I'm trying to write this thing manually so that I can align this in the mobile view. Let's save that. Let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, it's in center. I want this column to be in center, so I'm gonna get back over here. Now if you remember, for the row all you have to do is justify content center. Let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so that's in center now. So what we can do is we can add a nice background image. So we're gonna get back to this one. You can see this is the main header. I'm gonna copy this, and about this thing I'm going to add this class, and we're going to say background image is going to be URL, and you can see that we need to get inside the img tag. Okay, and we have the banner. Let's get back to browser. Let's hit refresh. You can see that we got this thing, but we need some spacing and alignment. The first thing is I need to change the color of the text. So this is the text holder. I'm going to just type in here as color white. Save that. Let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, that's in white. And the next thing for this image, I'm going to say background size is color, and hit refresh. Okay, that looks good. I need to give some spacing, so I'm going to say padding top. I'm going to set it as around 2 em. I'm going to say padding bottom. I'm going to set it to 2 em. Let's see how that looks. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so we have spacing. Actually, I'm gonna set based on the pixels. I like pixels more. I'm gonna set this to 150 pixels, and this is gonna be around 150 pixels. Let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so I did not add the px. px. Okay, that is a very huge banner. I think I can decrease this to around 100. Save this. Let's check that back. Okay, that looks good now. And basically I want this navigation bar to be fixed. So let's see how we can fix that. So I'm going to look for fixed top. Okay, so this is the class which I need to use. Just take this one, and we are going to add that in our navigation bar. Just add it over here. Let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. You can see now that it is fixed at the top. Now also we have less spacing, so we can add some extra spacing here and call this as 150 pixels. Now it is going to look nice. Okay, that looks better. Now I need the header to be a little bit transparent. So what we're going to do is we're going to inspect this, and for this navigation bar here, now this is the my nav which we created. I'm going to say background color. I'm going to set it to white. But what we're going to do is we're going to make it a much transparent. Okay, and I think I'll apply an important thing. Okay, that looks much better now. Okay, I'm gonna set this to RGB value so that I can see this much better. I think this much is fine. And what we can do another thing is that we can say backdrop filter. I'm going to add this as blur. Okay, so the backdrop filter is blur, and I will give it to around 8 pixels. So see how that looks. Okay, I think that kind of looks nice. So let's try increasing the blur. I can set it to around like 10, 15, or even less. Okay, I think I'll set it to around 10 is fine. So that looks pretty awesome. And I think we can increase this brightness a little bit. Yeah, I guess this is fine. So now that we have these styles, just copy this one. Okay, now let's get back to our code. And then in the nav bar, we are going to paste it. Save this. Let's get back to our browser. Let's hit refresh. Great, our blog home looks pretty good. And I want a simple button here which basically tells like subscribe now or something like that. So I'm gonna get back over here, and if I scroll down, this is my header, and right after this I'm going to give another div. I'm going to call this as dot subscribe holder. Inside this I'm going to give a anchor tag, the hash, give a class as ptn info, and that's going to say subscribe. Okay, let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, that's pretty small. I think we can make it a little bit big. And what we can do is also we can align it to center. Subscribe for newsletters, or subscribe for latest updates. That looks good. Okay, I think the box is also going to look good. Okay, this looks good. I need to align this to center. Like I said, again, I want this to be aligned specifically based on that one. So I'm just going to copy this, and you can see this is the one. And I'm just going to give a comma and just add it over here. Let's get back. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so we have the button. Now when I click this, I want a model to show up. So let's look for model. Okay, and we have these models here. So this is the one which you need. So I'm just going to copy this one, and let's get back to our code. And here I'm going to paste it. And instead of example model, I'm going to call this as subscribe model. Okay, and we need the model, so I'm just going to copy this one now, and in the footer I'm going to add that, and we will call this subscribe model. Okay, and we have the button name specified, so I'm going to look for that one. Yeah, this is here. Let's copy this and paste it over here and here. I'm going to change this one to subscribe for newsletters. Okay, let's get back here. Let's hit refresh. Can we check that? Okay, that looks good. And I don't need this footer buttons here. These are things. I'm going to get rid of this one. And here I'm going to add a form tag. Get rid of all these items. And here I'm going to say input. Actually, I'm going to use a div dot margin bottom, and here we'll say input, type is text, the class is form control. Just going to copy this and paste it here, JSM, save that, and I'm going to just copy this one, paste it over here, and this is going to be submit button. and this is going to be BTN success, BTN SM, and I can give a value for this called as subscribe now. Okay, so let's get back to our browser. Let's hit refresh. Okay, if I click on this, you can see that it says this thing. Okay, we need to add a placeholder. Your email ID. Okay, and this is going to be in center. So we want this in full width. So I'm going to call this as BTN block. Save this. Let's get back over here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, that looks good. So as soon as the user clicks on this button, he will be able to subscribe for newsletters. So this is our banner for our blog.